How's it going, everyone? My name is Primacon, and that's right. If you've been here before and you have eyes functioning ones, you can see that I fixed the fucking light glare on my glasses that I've had for a year. On today's episode of Silksong Shenanigans, Primacon learns how ring light works. But other than that fascinating revelation, there's actually one thing I want to talk about today, which is a Reddit AMA, Ask Me Anything for all the boomers, done on the Hollow Knight subreddit earlier today by Greg, who used to be a playtester for Hollow Knight, and he playtested Silksong in the early stages of its development. Do hit that subscribe button if you're new here. It helps my channel growth a lot, and I've never really said this before, but if you don't have the bell icon turned on my channel and you like my content, make sure you turn it on so YouTube actually notifies you when I fucking upload. Thank you, YouTube. The mods on the subreddit made a post about it yesterday, letting people know that there will be an AMA today, but they already clarified that not to expect some brand new Silksong revelation at this AMA. Of course, Greg, being a playtester for Hollow Knight and Silksong, is under NDA with Team Cherry, which he mentions in this AMA that we're gonna read his whole post. It has a bunch of good information, and he does talk about Silksong in it, some pretty interesting stuff. And then I'm gonna highlight some questions that I found interesting and see what Greg has to say about it, and I'll link this thing in the description so you can go read the whole thread yourself and have fun with it. A little history with this thing. So people actually really were upset with Greg in the past, and I wasn't really aware why, because when that thing happened, which we'll talk about, and people got upset with Greg, I wasn't too deep into the Hollow Knight or Silksong community. I used to watch Mossbag all the time and Relia all the time, but that's pretty much about it. And since then, I've actually talked to Greg a lot of times in the DMs, and he always came off as just such a genuine, sweet guy, so I never really understood why he got so much hate, and his post today clarifies a bunch of it. So without further ado, now that I've laid out the groundwork for you, let's get into it. And again, once again, apologize, still recovering from my flu, so my voice is still a little bit weird. Then again, I am a little bit weird, so does it really matter? Alright, by Hyper Greg, I was the lead playtester for Hollow Knight, Ask Me Anything. Hello everyone, my name is Greg. Some of you may know me, others may not. To celebrate the sub about to hit 1 million subscribers, god damn, they're 10 times bigger than r/Silksong, that's crazy. I've decided to do an AMA about the time I worked with Team Cherry testing Hollow Knight. Firstly, to address the elephant in the room, you can ask me about Silksong, but honestly, the things I do know, I am under NDA, so I can't talk about it, and the things I don't know, well, I know about it as much as you guys. So that's what I said earlier in the video. Of course, he's under NDA, so he can't tell more than he's allowed to. By the way, this NDA thing also extends to Leth. Don't forget, Leth is working under Team Cherry, so if he doesn't say anything, that's also because Leth is under an NDA. Moving on. I only tested on Silksong in the very early stages, the Treehouse demo. After that, Team Cherry didn't need a full-time tester, and I have 3 kids, so I got other jobs elsewhere. During that time, I also started working on my own indie game, Roxas Odyssey, so I didn't really have time anyway. He did send me a code for that, and I will play that game on my channel. I'll check it out, see what it's looking like. I'm very curious about it. I will say this about the situation. I personally feel that Team Cherry should communicate more with the fan base and show some love. I do believe that they will again one day when Silksong is finished, but for whatever reason they don't seem to want to give any updates on the development progress. That is true, and they will do a lot of talking with public once Silksong release date is announced. I plan to get Let on this channel after we get a release date, and I want to interview him about Silksong and his time working with Team Cherry on the game, marketing it and stuff like that. Also, if you don't know, Greg, I think, is a personal friend of Team Cherry, so that's another deep lore there. Secondly, I want to address the days when I used to do a bunch of trolling about Silksong's info. It started off as just idiotic fun in the beginning, but as time went on and the silence grew, it really started to piss people off, and I wholeheartedly apologize publicly about that, and I will here again. It was never my intention to hurt anyone's feelings, and it was immature. So this is the drama that happened that I wasn't a part of, which is why a lot of people had disdain for Greg. I saw that in my YouTube comments too, anytime I mentioned him, and I just didn't get it, so this is what it was. But, you know, moving on from that. Now on to the fun stuff. 1 million subs. It is insane to me to see how far we've come. This community is simply amazing. All the fan art, mods, speedrunner, loremen, and everyone else that has made such an amazing ride. I can say that I probably am the very first fan of Hollow Knight outside of the dev team. There was a time I felt I had discovered the greatest game ever, but had no one else really to talk about it. This crazy feeling inside my stomach of excitement and awe at what my friends had achieved. I mean, I was literally there when they started on Hungry Night. Those of you who don't know, Hungry Hungry Night was like a game jam project that basically gave birth to Hollow Knight. I stopped by to check out what was going down, and to go from that to where we are now is unbelievably surreal. Lastly, I asked the mods if it would be okay to quickly plug my project, and they graciously allowed me to. This is not about my project though, but I wanted to take this opportunity where I could. I learned so much from working alongside Team Cherry, absorbing their philosophy and work ethics. It inspired me to chase my dream of being a game dev too. If you are interested, you can check out more info here. So yeah, he reached out to me in the DMs about it too, and I'll definitely check it out as soon as I can. I just think gameplay videos require a lot more energy output than like a chill commentary video. So when my voice recovers a little bit more, I'll get on that, I promise. Anyway, ask me anything. This is an edit for after the AMA was concluded. Thanks everyone for the fun time once again. 1 million subs. This has been an incredible ride, and I'll say this one more thing. It is going to get better and even more exciting one day. Peace and much love to you all, the best gaming community around. Cheers everyone. So I'm gonna filter this out with the only Silksong-ish conversations first, because I know that's what most people care about. Very fair. Let's get that out of the way first. So there's this question: have you completely stopped playtesting Silksong? Yes. I have not worked with Team Cherry for a few years now. I have visited them in studio a few times and can confirm they do actually work on the game in there. That is really funny, because when the memes were going around of the E1331 memes of him, the pictures of the Team Cherry office, people were like, oh my god, this place is covered in dust. I bet they haven't even gone to their studio in forever. They don't work on this game anymore. All kinds of wacky conspiracy theory. I mean, this is my office. It's fucking covered in dust just because I can't be bothered to deep clean. But good to know that they actually go there and they do work there. That's pretty nice. Also, was the voice actor that made claims fake? They didn't seem very real to me. For the voice actor situation, honestly, just ask in the comments. I'm sure someone will clarify. I personally do not think they were real, but I could be wrong. Like, I know he has to say that he could be wrong just in case, but come on, that shit was definitely not real, guys. No shot. Oh, and if you guys are wondering, someone did ask when was the last time he had contact with Team Cherry, but there was no response to that. But the fact that he's their friend, I'm assuming not that long ago. Here's another question, Silksong related, that he answered. Hi, thank you for the AMA. Even if you're not playtesting Silksong anymore, I just wanted to know if Team Cherry still enjoys themselves making Silksong. Very valid question to ask about burnout. Or are they under a lot of pressure or just bored? I just hope they still have a great time developing the game, even after all those years. It's funny to ask that, because in a vlog or an interview or whatever, Team Cherry has went on record saying that they enjoy making games way more than actually releasing games, and I mean, time has told that they've proven that sentiment. Anyways, great response. Well, when I see them at social events, etc., they seem pretty happy. It doesn't appear to be getting them down or anything. Steady wins the race. Very fair point. And actually, I was gonna mention this because I saw a post on r/Silksong which did a breakdown of how long Hollow Knight took versus how long Silksong is taking. And basically, to sum it all up, their calculations reveal that Silksong is taking about 3 times as longer. But one thing that came to my mind was, you also gotta realize, when Hollow Knight was the thing, Team Cherry was working crunch overtime pretty much non-stop because they were broke. So broke that even arranging day-to-day food was becoming a problem. Working day in and out then to get something out so you can feed yourself is very different than their work ethic now, which is hopefully they're working more like human beings, you know? Limited work hours every day, giving themselves rest, because they've earned it with the masterpiece they've made, that is Hollow Knight. And with Silksong's scope being bigger and them probably working less hours a day on it, it just makes sense that the game is taking so long. Here's another thing Silksong related. Regarding both Hollow Knight and Silksong, how excited are you for the fact that Hornet can actually speak in Silksong? NPC interactions are something that always stuck out to me, since not only is the first game, fittingly, desolate and with not many NPCs, but you're locked to a silent protagonist. To this, Greg says, yes, I am very excited. It'll change the game feel up for sure, knowing how Hornet has an actual personality. Again, not much of an answer, we kind of know this already. I am glad though that for Hollow Knight Silksong, Team Cherry just isn't doing another dead, desolated world. We seem to be going to a kingdom with far more activity than Hallownest. This is interesting. How often do updates get pushed to the playtesters? Like, do they get the new versions every few weeks, or is it constant back and forth? It depends, honestly. Not many initially, daily, but once they get closer to releasing or completing things, they rank up, sometimes daily or a couple of weeks. Yeah, and I imagine if Silksong's development is ramping down now, whoever's playtesting for Team Cherry right now, they're probably rigorously playtesting for bugs and glitches and game-breaking sequences. There's a question by E1331, everyone's favorite person on r/Silksong. I'm a big fan of NDAs. Like, my favorite hobby is to share what year I signed my latest NDA. For example, I signed my last NDA in 2024. How fun is that? So quirky. How about you? What year did you sign your last NDA? E1331, again, farming on the belief of poor r/Silksong believer crowd that he's actually part of Team Cherry. He's not part. Guys, if you seriously believe this guy's part of Team Cherry or in any serious way, please seek professional help. You might be too far gone into the road of Skong. They can't keep stringing you along. Wow, you also love new dance agreements. I sign one of those every day. All he's gotta do a new dance. Yeah, as if he's gonna say it when he signed his last NDA. Come on. Honestly, r/Silksong is less of a Silksong subreddit and more of a E1331 cult. This one's interesting because it says how much of the game did you playtest, certain areas, the whole thing. Also opinions about Myla. But he says, I used to run the entire game over and over with each build to make sure it was all working as intended. I love Myla, poor thing. But yeah, think about it like that. Playtesting Silksong is naturally also going to take longer than playtesting Hollow Knight because it's so much larger in scope. Or I fucking hope it's been in development for so long, god damn it. There's a question by Blue SR. He's a very famous speedrunner in the Hollow Knight community. It's about Hollow Knight and speedrunning. I'll leave it on the screen here if you want to pause and read, but I'll go along. I found this question interesting because someone asked what was the most shocking change from beta to official release, and Greg says like removal of major features like backdash and triple dash mechanics. Like, those are crazy. Imagine Hollow Knight with a backdash, like a functioning backdash or a triple dash mechanic. Like, that changes the game entirely because now not only you have to design platforming sections around that like White Palace, but you also have to design boss fights and stuff around that as well. And backdash is something we actually saw in trailers of Hollow Knight before launch, so I wonder if there's features in Silksong trailers, the two of them that we've seen, that are not going to be there in the game anymore because maybe after rigorous playtesting it just didn't work out. Kind of like backdash didn't work out in Hollow Knight, it just wasn't as useful as they thought, and how they probably had to change their world design and boss design around that kind of thing. Playtesting is crucial for video games. I mean, I highly recommend a video by Game Maker's Toolkit. They did a video on Valve and how they do playtests and how they develop games. It's a very big eye-opener and a good inside look into game design and playtesting. It's very fascinating stuff. Another question regarding Silksong is, well, opinions on E1331, but on a more serious note, is Silksong harder than Hollow Knight, or the big difference is the Hornet movement? Well, I'll comment on the demo as it was public. You can see that the enemies have thingies like helmets, so you can't pogo them and things like that. So just in that demo alone, there is more combat strategy than Hollow Knight. Unfortunately, a bit of a no answer. It's just, you can't say anything more, and that's publicly public information, which is kind of sad, but I thought I'd mention it. Funny enough, he didn't have any opinions on E1331. Why, Chad? Wanna know my opinions on E1331? He's gonna take over the world someday. That's his whole plan. Silksong is just step number 1, baby. Oh yeah, and this is interesting. Greg lore, if you're interested. How did you become a playtester for Team Cherry, and what are your thoughts on the cake post? I have known both Team Cherry guys for over 20 years. They needed testers for Hollow Knight, and I put my hand up among a few others, but I really dove into it hard. Eventually, I just kinda became the main tester. Sadly, he did not have any thoughts on the cake post. Here's another Silksong question. Were you able to listen to the new music for Silksong, or are you waiting for Chris Larkin's new album drop, lol, like the rest of us? It's all hush hush. I don't know anything, but I have faith in Chris. He's amazing. Yeah, Chris recently did a music track for another video game. I forget the name, but my man's been working. Speaking of his friends and colleagues, is working on my game for the music and sounds. Nice. Chris personally recommended him to me. His name is Nathan Cummins. I'm probably butchering that, and he's also amazing. Cool. Also, this is just another fun fact. Apparently, he also did playtesting for Cult of the Lamb for a bit. Cult of the Lamb, if you don't know, is another masterpiece of an indie game. It's a really fun game. Try it out if you need something to play while waiting for Silksong and you haven't played that game already. It has the Primacon seal of approval. What's your opinion on the current Silksong situation, the cake, and the Xbox blog post? Do you think it'll be released this year, considering it's a Switch 1 game? I am hopeful it'll come this year, but that's just it. Hope. It's in the same boat as you on this one, I'm afraid. The cake thing, who knows? It's insane. And again, before you get mad at Greg in the comments that, oh my god, why can't he just give a straight answer? Why is he being all cryptic like that? First of all, he is friends with Team Cherry and he's known them for decades and he's done playtesting for Hollow Knight rigorously. He was the main playtester for Hollow Knight and he did Silksong playtesting early on. He is under NDA, non-disclosure agreement. You cannot say anything, not even hint at it. And he hasn't done playtesting for Silksong in a while, so he is under the same boat as rest of us. And I know, guys, it's frustrating to not get clear-cut answers with these, but of course, we're not gonna get like a AMA from Let at this point, right? Or God forbid, Team Cherry themselves. This is the closest we can get from anyone related to the development of Hollow Knight and especially the development of Silksong to come out and talk to us as much as they possibly can to celebrate the 1 million mark of Hollow Knight Discord subreddit. I think it's a very positive thing, and I'm saying this because it kind of broke my heart a little bit seeing the amount of negativity about it yesterday on the mod post. People were saying, what the fuck is the point of this? This is stupid, blah blah blah. If he can't talk about release date, why is he even doing an AMA? But I think this is just great stuff, you know? I understand we all want the release date, but I always believe that something is better than absolutely nothing, which is why I got excited when Xbox mentioned Silksong in their article, because like at least it's something. Yes, it might not be true, but it's a tangible thing. Until something is disproven completely, I like believing in it. Like the cake thing, I genuinely believed it till Let said fuck no, and then I was like, god damn it. But I just think it's a positive thing and he's doing the best he can. Again, I'm not defending anyone, and if you have disdain from Greg because of his earlier actions, I'm sorry, I wasn't a part of it, so I don't have any bias for that. Just like Greg, I also hope we get Silksong this year itself. And with that being said, I'm gonna leave this video off with the last question by our Lord Ara from Daily Silksong News. Hey Greg, are you super uber ultra rich from having playtested Hollow Knight and a bit of Silksong? Yes, Team Cherry paid me in these weird things called bitcoins. Anyway, I have 2 million of them. Classic. That's what all you gotta do if you want to make it big in life. Get a job at Team Cherry. They pay better than Jesus. There are of course a lot more questions than this on this mega thread. They're all Hollow Knight related regarding development of it, speedrunning, different glitches, how it worked out, because Greg was the main playtester for Hollow Knight. If you're interested in that at all, I will leave it in the description for you to go and read. Honestly guys, I would have loved to make a 2-hour or an hour and a half long video about it, just going through everything, but I think that'd get pretty dull both for you and for my voice. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to summer so much, not just because of Silksong, but because summertime is game time, game festivals, things come, and I hope it grows my channel more because I got big aspirations for YouTube. Anyway, I also hope you appreciate that I fixed my light. Thank you for watching. See you later. Primacon signing out.